So good morning again, everyone. Welcome to this breakout session, which is dedicated to the first specific objective of this call, the network for resilience. So this objective, of course, it aims at improving the resilience of the EU industrial ecosystems by developing value chains interlinkages in the single market. I am Arianna Dellaca. I'm a project advisor at EISMEA, and I will assist my colleague Eva, that you already met earlier this morning, in the moderation of this session. The session will consist, as mentioned, in a presentation of this specific objective, and then followed by a Q&A session. Before we start, I would like just to draw your attention to a few simple rules that should be kept in mind for the smooth running of this session, and that you can see in the presentation that Eva just shared. So, of course, always remember to keep your microphone muted and your camera turned off. You have a chat on the right side of your screen that you can use for asking your questions that should be pertinent to this specific objective. As you guys seen, we have already started to answer the general questions during the plenary session before. You also have the possibility of asking your questions by sending an email to us at the address indicated in the slide. I also remind you that all the questions asked today will be then collected and published on the Funding and Tenders portal in the FAQ section. So you will find all the answers that you're looking for shortly also published on the FAT portal. And then if you experience any difficulties, our colleagues are here to assist you. So please do not refrain from sending them an email in case you need to be assisted. So now, without further ado, I am very glad to give the floor to Eva, who will present us the first objective, network for resilience, a bit more in detail. So Eva, the floor is yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm having problems now to move my slides. So this is exactly what happens in this moment.
No problem. If you want, I can try sharing my screen and see if it works better.
Yes, please, if you don't mind.
No, I don't, absolutely. I just hope
no, because it seems to be blocked.
See, but it's the... Okay.
It's the usual problems in being live.
Yes.
Okay, it seems that it's working now. Okay, excellent. So thank you very much to everybody. Thank you, Arianna. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. So now we are going to go a bit deeper into the first specific objective, which is objective number 1. Is the network for resilience to improve the resilience of the EU industrial ecosystems by developing value chain interlinkages in the EU single market. What I'm going to do right now is to go with you together through the different aspects that cover this specific objective in the call, and then Arianna and me, we will be very happy to reply to answer your questions. If some of the questions are, as Arianna explained, related to questions that were already asked in the morning or in a few minutes ago, then we will probably redirect you towards the answer that was given a few minutes ago by our colleagues. So if we continue, there is one mandatory action that needs to be done in this specific objective. And this mandatory action is to design and build new collaboration models between European cluster organizations and other actors. As you see, this is not written like in the call because I wanted to distinguish the 3 parts of this mandatory action so it is clear what we are asking here. So these collaboration models, they focus on facilitating the value chain interlinkages along and across different industrial ecosystems, and with a view of having resilience, preparedness, business continuity plans. This is the mandatory action under this specific objective. In the call, you also see that there is a list of potential actions. These potential actions are illustrative, they are indicative, they are meant to be examples of what can be done in order to achieve the mandatory action. This is the list that we are giving. Establish connections among value chain actors in the form of contracts, agreements, platforms, forum, etc. Create a mapping of supply and value chains that identifies strategic gaps, bottlenecks, disruptions, dependencies, and opportunities for collaboration. Provide access to market information to supported SMEs. Establish marketing channel strategy. Involves long-term attention to end users' demand for products and services the value chain can offer. The list continues with other actions such as the prepare resilience-related investment projects with a mix of private and public funding, including business plans and market analysis. Set up collaboration and networking activities for SMEs, including matchmaking events aimed at improving the innovation potential of SMEs and facilitating value chain interlinkages along and across different industrial ecosystems, and provide an in-depth review on the value chain in the industrial ecosystems, providing further insights on the origin of strategic dependencies and their impact. I continue. As you see, we are not lacking possibilities and examples, illustrative examples of what we consider that could be actions that will help to reach the mandatory action. So the list continues with the carry out the bottom-up analysis based on various available data, for example, trade, technological, market data, to identify vulnerable products and services in the industrial ecosystems, EU dependency of critical inputs, technologies, and infrastructure of the value chain. Identify reasons for dependency of critical inputs, technologies, or infrastructure of the value chain for the proposal in subject. Align actions with the national and regional smart specialization strategies and with the national recovery plans for greater impact. So we have just gone through the mandatory actions and all the potential actions that could help us reach the mandatory action that is definitely the one that needs to be done. And now the deliverable is a simple one. We want resilience, preparedness, business continuity plans in the industrial ecosystem or in ecosystems if you're applying, depending on the strand you're applying. The KPIs. The compulsory one is this one, the number of resilience, preparedness, business continuity plans in the industrial ecosystems. That's clear. However, we also recommend the following: the number of business and non-business actors linked to existing or new value chain, the number of partnerships, agreements, contract farming, subcontracting, or other schemes that formalize relationships between producers and other value chain actors, input suppliers, processors, buyers, the volume of production services under agreements, the number of and type of additional market channels established, virtual platform, marketplace, fair trade or trade fair, etc. The number of SMEs accessing market information, the number of policy forums along value chain actors help to identify and address constraints at micro and macro level, regulatory framework, trade policy, etc. Number of policy papers addressing key value chain constraints submitted to regional, national, and EU authorities. So with this, that's the end of my presentation. I'm going to stop sharing my screen because otherwise I cannot see any questions that may come in the chat. So thank you very much. I hope it was clear. And now the floor is yours. Arianna, please. We cannot hear you, Arianna.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. I see that in the chat, several people were saying that the slides are not moving.
Yeah.
I went through all the slides right now. Is everything okay? Were you able to see everything now?
Normally now they should be fine, but it's true that there were some issues. So we can maybe have a look at them again if you need, but in any case, this presentation will also be shared after today. So yes, we are on the last slide of KPIs.
So, Loic, I see that you reacted. Were you able to see all the other slides?
Now it is okay. Okay. Okay, so I think that by now the only question we have is the one that Marco Suarez Garcia just asked. So if we could go a bit more into detail regarding the mandatory indicator. So what is it and how do we expect to provide proof of this indicator? So
Thank
I
you for
can
the
go back
question.
maybe with the slide as well. So we go back to the mandatory action, mandatory indicator. So this is it.
Very good. So we are asking for a number of resilience, preparedness, and business continuity plans in the industrial ecosystem. What do we mean about that? So obviously, and I think that by now you have guessed it after following the questions before, we are not going to tell you what is these preparedness plans and how it will look like. This is something that is up to you. But any kind of emergent situations can occur in the value chain of where the Eurocluster is operating in. It can be a natural disaster, a terrorist attack, or a pandemic. And regardless of the emergency situation, one of the most important things to do is is to protect the value chain and its SMEs. Arianna, I'm afraid that we see your screen.
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sharing my screen, so it's all live. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. So at the end, it is really up to you to see what are the models that you would like to prepare. So what are the resilience, preparedness, or business continuity plans that you would like to put in place in order to prepare for such situations? We are living one right now. So and there were not enough business continuity plans, but we want to accommodate any good ideas that are coming from it. Regarding the proof of this indicator, that's the reason why we are also so detailed about not only the compulsory indicator, but the other indicators that are coming along with it. Because in order to have a business continuity plan, obviously you have to measure it in different perspectives. And this is something that we very much encourage you to see, depending on the plan that you think that you would put in place in the ecosystem. So I cannot go into more details than this because we really want to see what you propose and the ambition that you have in what you propose.
Thank you, Eva, for this answer. We then have a question regarding the mandatory action, meaning can it be implemented by consortium activities from the 25% funding of the consortium and through the FSTP, 75%?
Well, Arianna, I think that this is also a question for EISMEA.
Yeah. I think this has already been addressed during the previous session anyway, because it's more like a general question. So I would invite you to maybe go and check once these FAQs are published, because all of these financial requirements will be more thoroughly explained in that document.
Indeed, we are going to go into more details in the FAQ.
Yes. Then we have another question instead on the interlinkages collaboration. So this is actually a very It's actually to the point, as it asks whether this collaboration should be implemented across different industrial ecosystems, or it could be focused between different actors of the value chain of a unique industrial ecosystem.
That's a very good question. In fact, it depends on the strand you're focusing. If you're applying for one of the strands that are focusing on the industrial ecosystem, then it is also logical that you focus these collaboration models within the industrial ecosystem you're focusing on. If you're applying in the open strand, then by definition, that means that you have to cater for the different industrial ecosystems that will be included.
Yes. Thank you, Eva. I don't see any further questions in the chat. I don't know if any of you still wanted to ask something, always in relation to this objective.
I think that this particular objective was very clear. Eh?
I think so too. Yeah, it's
That's
true
what
that
we thought.
when we were thinking of possible questions, I mean, everything is already very well explained in the call. So, well, if nothing pops up, I would then invite you to either go and check what is happening in other breakout sessions, or just go back to the plenary room, where we will also gather for the closing remarks before the networking event this afternoon.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank
You
you
know,
very much for
we are,
participating.
if the questions come later, you can always send them to us via email, as it was reminded by Arianna at the beginning of this session, or by all means, use the chat in this platform in order to send us the question, and we will address it in written later. Or so we are here to assist in as far as we can.
Indeed, indeed. Please be reminded to also follow us on social media, etc., to get all possible updates about the call, the evaluation, and everything that will follow this very preliminary session. Thank you very much again, and see you later. Good luck with your proposals. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good luck.
Bye.
Bye.